Hi, everyone. This is Jim Sugarman, co-founder of ForGenNow.com. We are delighted to have a really special guest on a topic that everyone needs, especially we at ForGenNow needs to learn more about. We have Alex Gardner, who is a certified identity theft risk management specialist, who's going to be sharing his thoughts and compelling content about legal and ID theft solutions for the intergenerational startup. Alex, thank you very, very much. Bill Saltz from LegalShield, thank you very, very much. The floor is yours.
Thank you so much, Jim, and I appreciate all the work you're doing there at ForGenNow, and highly encourage everyone to attend the summit, the upcoming summit in person, and make sure you reach out to my colleague Bill Saltz, who will be attending, to find out more details about what we're discussing today. And as some of you probably know, a lot of solopreneurs and small business owners are making Google-based decisions right now. They're making what they would consider to be common sense decisions, maybe even some finger cross decisions, but how much has that costed, or will that end up costing their business over time, and really catch up to them making their decisions based on that way. And in the typical, mom and pop business, we've found is lacking some resources that, of course, the big businesses have. And so what this solution can do is really wrap around your small business and give you the resources that up until now have really been priced out of the solopreneur or small business marketplace. And so what we're going to be talking about today is really a partnership between LegalShield and Go Small Biz that gives you some benefits that can help protect as well as to help grow your business. And these are really virtually all the benefits we're going to talk about today are what we call day one benefits, things that you can sign up as a member, get access to this service on a monthly basis, and start using it day after day, week after week, month after month, and see a return on investment for your business. So just to touch on a first benefit in the LegalShield solution, which gives you the protect flavor, is you're going to now have, as a member, what I call business attorneys on speed dial, where you can pick up the phone or tap the mobile app, and guaranteed within a matter of just a few hours, under 8 business hours, usually under 4 for our business clients, you're going to be talking to an experienced business attorney in your state, average 22 years experience. You can talk to them as long as you want and not receive a bill in the mail for your time. So the meter's not running. Typically business attorneys are $300 to $500 an hour, and you might hesitate to call them and wait till the 11th hour. Now you can be proactive. You can be on that front foot and have what I call business attorneys on speed dial. In running your business, you'll never want to go back to not having this access once you have this access. And so there's just, a wide variety, thousands of different topics that could come up on a daily basis for your business. And now with these business attorneys on speed dial, you can have that sounding board. You can bounce that off. If it involves a third party, they don't even need to know. Of course, they don't even know that you're reaching out and reaching out to counsel about it. But it's good to be proactive and preventive rather than reactive and defensive. And that's what this solution allows. So this is all you got for this solution today. This would be, I think, the best value in America for a small business owner. But not everything is necessarily a legal question that comes up in your business. So we also have a resource for anything else that's not legal. And in some cases, you might want to submit a question to the attorneys as well as to this resource, which is provided by Go Small Biz. So this is for anything else that comes up, tax related, HR, sales and marketing, anything else that comes up in your business. You can submit a question to the panel of experts at Go Small Biz and get a research response, normally by the next business day and always within 2 business days. An expert with several years experience in that area will actually do research up to an hour and give you a research response. And I just want to give you a quick example of a question that I've asked in recent years for a particular business that I run. And the more information you give, the better they are to go by that information. So you just type up a question the best you can, and then you submit your question, and you go right back to running and growing your business. And so By the next day, I got an email saying my answer was ready. All I had to do was click that view button, and here's the 4-page detailed custom response covering every possible angle of my question. Now, if I would have had enough hours, I might have been able to, research and find the answer to this question myself. But the point is, I didn't have to spend the time or the mental energy Googling around and researching or asking a bunch of people what to do. I just submitted that question, went right back to focusing on my business that day. Before I knew it, that next day I got this research response, and it's pretty impressive. The panel of experts that we get access to at Go Small Biz. Here's just a sampling of some of the backgrounds that have been on the staff of the Go Small Biz experts, and I wouldn't be surprised at all if that was that could have been the former director of Ernst & Young's small business tax practice actually answering that question. So of course we wouldn't be able to afford these kind of resources as a solopreneur, but now with this group buying power now of over 100,000 small business owners already be able to drive that rate down to something, starting under $2 a day, something we can all afford on a shoestring budget. Also included with Go Small Biz are some on-demand business applications. For example, an HR document builder. This is something, everything from confidentiality forms and non-disclosure agreements to employee handbooks and everything in between. Also, a PC Magazine Editor's Choice award-winning business plan builder software. So of course, if you ever want any financing for your business, the first thing that people are going to want to see that might be interested in lending you any money or investing in your business is a written business plan. That's been a challenge for a lot of solopreneurs and startups and small business owners. And now this is the best way to streamline that process. Fill in the blank, wizard-driven, over 100 industry-specific templates, and it will crunch all the numbers and the financials within that software piece, and we'll give you that written business plan. If you already have a written business plan, you can submit that to the consultants, and they'll give you feedback on each section of that and how that could be strengthened or improved. Also, a CRM application with email marketing, a customer service issue tracking tool, and this helps you track, prioritize, and resolve any customer service matters for your business if that's applicable. Also, a business risk assessment tool, okay, with the advice on how to help tighten some of those risks, and also a fill-in-the-blank corporate minutes manager so that we can actually keep up with that in really a streamlined, painless way once and for all. Okay, the LegalShield side of this also includes a debt collection benefit. Of course, this doesn't apply to every business, but if you do or ever have a business that accepts checks or invoices customers, you're probably going to have some people once in a while that don't pay, or the payment isn't any good. And so there's other things, of course, you can do to try to collect that. But if it comes down to it, you included in here, you can have an initial debt collection letter sent on your full service law firm's letterhead, and anything that's ever collected, you get to keep 100% of anything that comes in. And here's an example of a letter that was sent out on that full service law firm's letterhead for the small business member in their state. Here's the cashier's check for $3,000, the full amount of the delinquent account paid directly to that business owner. You see the business owner's name, Terry Thomas, right on that check. And that's an important point to make, because I'm not aware of any other collection effort in the history of this country where a firm doesn't take a percentage, right? It's pretty much unheard of. And so very proud of that. 100% of all anything received gets passed right on to our members, and over $100 million collected or saved in the last 5 years alone from the letter benefit. Also, contract and document review. Of course, it's just smart to have someone looking out for your best interests before you sign those contracts. Or if you receive a new, update, some kind of a document, government document or update, something that you want reviewed, okay, you can send that over to your business attorneys and have those reviewed, and make sure that you know what's really in that, and make sure it's in your best interest, or it's okay to sign or move forward. We touched on collections, but what about other third parties? I have a business owner I know very well that recently that actually had been a satisfied customer with a service provider online. That the way they sell their services is you buy credits, and then whenever you use the service, then those credits get reduced in your account. Well, The reason that this particular business owner was attracted to this specific company was that the credits never expired. And for over 5 years had been a satisfied customer. It actually referred several people to the service provider. Well, then they ran a promotion where if you bought $1,000 worth of credits, they would give you $500 in bonus credits. And even though this person didn't necessarily need additional credits at that time, they had plenty of credits, they thought, you know what, this is just a good investment because I've been with this company for over 5 years. Over time, I'm going to use these credits, and it's just a way to invest and get a reduced rate on these credits. And so they took advantage of the offer. Well, within a matter of months, they got an email saying all $1,900 of their credits were about to expire. Of course, it was shocking to them. They thought it was just a mistake. They said, no, we've changed our terms of service. So I guess somewhere on the website in their fine print, they had adjusted something without really making any kind of a notice. And so this business owner was upset. They couldn't believe that they weren't going to grandfather them in or make this right. Then they were held firm with it. So they had their law firm sent a letter to the service provider on their behalf. And within a matter of days, they got an email saying that they decided to grandfather them in, and actually all $1,900 of their credits were not going to expire, and were going to be grandfathered into the service terms when they took advantage of that offer. So it's amazing how, like it says, helps them motivate a third party to do the right thing. Also with the Go Small Biz, you have access to a website builder. So of course, if you already have a web presence, there's no need to take advantage of this tool. This is really a good starter website program. But if you don't have a web presence yet, drag and drop technology, unlimited pages, it's e-commerce capable. So they have a shopping cart available with that, and no hosting fees by utilizing this if you need help getting started with a web presence. If you already have a web presence, like many of you probably do, then you can take advantage of the website analysis benefit and actually have a Go Small Biz expert analyze your website and or social media presence and give you feedback and analysis on a 10-point scale within 2 business days. Also included is a video on demand learning center. And so these are very high value training courses in different areas of business, because as entrepreneurs, solopreneurs, sometimes we don't have the time to take off for ongoing education and training conferences and different things. But this is something we can do on our own time, right? 24/7, we can log in, at night, early in the morning, on a weekend, whenever is most convenient for us, and actually broaden our horizons to different areas of business on our own time. So if you just pictured yourself sitting in a boardroom with an owner of a full service law firm in your state, as well as an owner of a national consultancy firm like Go Small Biz, and said, I would like access to all the following services, but I don't want to have to pay by the hour like everybody else typically does around the country. I'd rather have one flat monthly rate. What would that monthly rate have to be? You ready? Here's what I'd like. I'd like legal consultation on an unlimited number of matters. I want to be able to call in, tap the app, or call the toll-free number, and within a matter of hours, be talking to an experienced attorney every time I have a question, business attorney, average 22 years experience, and not receive additional bill in the mail for their time. I also would like correspondence sent on third party on their letterhead per subject matter, as well as any debt collection if I have checks or invoices that need to be collected on. I'd also like documents and contracts reviewed before I move forward. Something comes across my desk. And I want to be able to submit an unlimited number of questions to the panel of experts there at Go Small Biz, get that research response, usually by the next day, always within 2 business days. Some of the tools that we talked about, the HR document builder, the business plan builder, the website builder analysis, the learning center. If you had all these together, you'd easily be into the thousands of dollars a month in value, right? And really, that's what large corporations pay without blinking an eye. I mean, just in legal alone, you look at a major corporation, and in that balance sheet, you see, thousands of dollars a quarter just for the legal alone. And up until now, we've been priced out of that. As solopreneurs, small business entrepreneurs, have been priced out of these caliber of services, but now they've driven this rate down to something we can all afford, starting at under $2 a day. So a solopreneur, sole proprietor up to 10 W-2 employees can take advantage of our Essentials plan for just $59 a month and get access to all the services we talked about today. You can get with Bill to talk about details, and it's not about seeing yourself using all of these services necessarily, right? I mean, just one or two of the benefits alone in your you're really taking advantage of this, and you're in the black as far as a return on investment and just doing smart things to help protect and grow your business. Okay, the Pro plan, some differences there. There's a little bit higher volume of services on the legal side included in the Pro plan, as well as a bonus benefit. There starts to be some trial defense benefits included. So Bill can tell you a little more about that if you're interested. Everything else we talked about is a day one benefit. And then also a third user can have access to be able to call the law firm and use the services. And so this is up to 2 users, which I think is really good for your platform with the multi-generational partnership that you have there at 4Gen Now, and the 109 plan. But a solopreneur can buy any of the plans. So you can always buy a plan or upgrade a plan bigger than what you qualify for, but there are qualification levels as far as the number of W-2 employees if you end up hiring or as you grow your business. And so most every business can take advantage of this, the 59 or the 109 plan. Okay, and again, Bill will be at the summit, so take advantage of that. And if you're there, definitely look out for him. Now, the last thing I want to talk about before we close is identity theft. This is top of mind, especially since we've had the Anthem Blue Cross breach in recent years, and then most recently the Equifax breach, and this impacted the majority of adults in the United States, right? Almost 150 million people, really anyone with established credit history is thought to be affected by that. So if you haven't checked to see if you're affected, get with Bill, he can show you how to check, but just probably assume that you are. Social Security numbers, a lot of us were affected even maybe with driver's license numbers and more. So this is a big concern now more than ever. And I just want to go through 3 major misconceptions as well as 3 things to look for in a solution to manage that risk. Okay, first of all, most people that we meet still think, amazingly enough, that identity theft's about our bank account and credit cards. And why is that? Well, that's because financial institutions have been marketing to us for over a decade, hey, come bank with us because we have zero liability on our transaction, right? Well, that's basically the consumer laws out there, right? Is that, as far as I know, that as long as you see an unauthorized charge and you report it to your financial institution, it wasn't you that authorized it, then as far as I know, all financial institutions have zero liability for that. That's not even real identity theft, right? That's just an unauthorized charge. Well, what is identity theft? That true identity theft is when someone starts opening new accounts, okay? The fastest growing forms of new account fraud, according to the most recent FTC report I've seen, are cell phone accounts and utility accounts. So if you're using your Social Security number, but opening up new accounts in your name and Social Security number. All right, and also creating fake IDs on the black market. They're taking all our information from breaches like the Equifax breach. Some of them are even buying multiple of these databases and piecing them together to create more of a 360-degree view of our identity. They're creating these IDs with all our information, other people's pictures, and then selling those on the black market. And then that gives someone the opportunity, 1 or more people could be getting jobs in our name. Right? There's millions of people that need a clean American ID and Social Security number to work a job in this country. But do you think they're going to pay the taxes on that after the end of each year? Probably not, right? And there are all kinds of different complications that can happen from that. Everything from Social Security benefits getting really messed up to bank accounts being frozen and the state licenses being suspended, and a lot of different complications there. Medical ID theft can be your medical insurance, but it's amazing how many prescriptions and treatments and things that we've heard of people are getting in people's names just with their personal information alone. And then if that ID thief ever gets pulled over, arrested, which ID do you think they're going to show? You guessed it, the one that they bought on the black market with our information, but someone else's with their picture. right? And so this is true identity theft. This is the real risk to manage as a solopreneur, as a small business owner, and just as an individual in this society. And the average victim is spending several hundred. The one study I saw is an average of 600 business hours that a true victim spend trying to prove their innocence and get the record straightened out. So that's the real risk we need to manage. And so major misconception number 2 is that some people still think, even after all these breaches, you know what, if I'm careful, if I'm smart, if I'm conscientious, if I shred everything, if maybe I don't use public Wi-Fi, or I use cash only, you know, if you're really extreme, some people think that they can still avoid the ID thieves, right? But of course, there's 3 main ways our information is being breached, with or without us being careful, right? Human error, paying off insiders, and of course, the biggest way we hear about is hacking, especially through the big breaches that we've heard about in recent years, and they're specifically targeting Social Security numbers now more than ever. Major misconception number 3, is, if I monitor all the bureaus, or maybe if I place fraud alerts, or even freeze all my credit files, then that should keep me safe from identity theft, right? Couldn't be further from the truth, okay? Credit services don't equal identity theft protection whatsoever. Credit scores don't prevent or restore any of the 5 types. Credit reports don't prevent or restore the 5 types of identity theft. Credit monitoring, according to the FTC report that I've seen, can only detect 15% of identity theft currently. And so even if you froze your credit files, really you're only freezing out 15%. And whether it's something that shows up in a monitoring alert or not, the biggest question is, who are you going to call, right? Who's going to prove your innocence and get your record straightened out for any of these 5 types? And so that being said, the 3 key components to look for and make sure is included in a solution to effectively manage that risk are: number 1, make sure you have direct access to the right people. And for identity theft and fraud, that would be a licensed fraud investigator. Number 2, hand in glove with that, you want to make sure it has a limited power of attorney benefit, because you know anything about dealing with third-party companies or government agencies trying to correct records, they're going to need to see legal sign permission, as far as I know, for someone else to be calling on our behalf, right? So we can continue to make a living for our household, and have somebody doing that on our behalf, a licensed professional. And number 1 and 2 can effectively manage that risk, the average of several hundred hours, right? Once that's in place, then it's nice to have some proactive monitoring. What you'll see in the marketplace is most companies out there are based on number 3. They'll do infomercials and talk all day long about almost acting like they can prevent identity theft, which of course nobody can, right? And the biggest difference between the ID Shield, the solution that we represent, in any other product in the marketplace, is even if our clients don't activate their monitoring benefits, they're still covered, right? Nobody else can say that. And it's all backed by a $5 million service guarantee, which is the biggest, boldest guarantee in the industry. And the day after actually the Equifax breach, Mr. Morgan Wright, one of the top cybersecurity experts in the United States, was being interviewed on CNBC, and he admitted that he has the ID Shield, because if anything happens, they have actual licensed investigators, of course, that actually do the restoration for you. So make sure when you get with Bill, ask him about the ID Shield as well. And there's also some LegalShield solutions for non-business things, which are good for things like getting your will done, and any kind of traffic tickets. There's emergency access, consumer matters, and a lot of other different things that you can use just to navigate through life in your household, and making sure your estate and other things are in order as well. So with that, we respect and appreciate your time today, and I highly recommend, again, that you get with Bill, and we recommend that you go to the summit in person, and the bill is available before or after the event as well at the contact information you see here on the screen. So with that, Jim, I appreciate the time, and we'll turn it back over to you.
Great. Alex, thank you very much. Excellent. I got to ask just one quick question, and this is not planted, but I mean, what's the objection? Solopreneurs, this is friggin' phenomenal. So affordable, great benefits, less stress. What objections do you have from solopreneurs? Or Bill, maybe this is to you. What possible objections do solopreneurs give to you in terms of not wanting to proceed?
Well, I think most have never heard of it, and when they hear of it, I think the smart ones jump on board. But if there's any pushback, I think it's that they just haven't used attorneys before, or they haven't used consultants before, and so they think because maybe they haven't used a specialist or experts that could help guide them or be a sounding board for their business, then maybe they would be okay without.
Fascinating. Obviously, this is the most in-depth presentation that I've heard about this. It's great. Bill, thank you very, very much for your support of 4Gen Now. Alex, great. We're going to see you and Bill at the summit on Friday, October 12th, correct?
Bill will be at the summit. I will not be able to attend, but Bill will be representing us at the summit. Absolutely.
Fantastic. That's great. Alex, thank you very, very much. Really appreciate your assistance. And I know with the contact information there right now, people will know how to get in touch with Bill, phone number and email. Bill at BillSaltz, that's BillSaltz.com. Thank you very much, guys.
And I'd like to add one real quick thing, Jim. I'd like to thank you for all the hard work you've done in putting together this summit. I think you're spot on with the focus of your business model, and I appreciate all that you've done.
Thanks so much, Bill. I appreciate that. And as I live in Boston, you and I, we've not yet met, except through Zoom, I think. I'm looking forward to meeting you. Thank you very much.
Likewise.